Hey, buddy.
Good job, buddy boy. Thanks for being so good. Aloha and welcome to Alaska. Our little family packed up and left Hawaii just to come isolate here in the rural Prince of Wales Island. And even though we have been isolated from our beautiful island home, you can't quarantine aloha. And so that is why we are going to share with you some knowledge that we've been learning. And that is how to clean a halibut. I clean a lot of fish in Hawaii, but I don't clean any fish that look like this. And so I've been learning, and I'm no expert, but I still just want to show you what I've been learning. This is a small halibut. In Alaska, they call this a chicken, which I think is pretty cute. You know, we have similar things in Hawaii where if you have an ahi, it has to be over 100 pounds, the yellowfin tuna, where if it's smaller than 100 pounds, you call it a shibi. Well, for halibut, if you got a small halibut, you call it a chicken. And so the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove the cheek. Halibut are really kind of crazy, ugly looking fish. 2 eyes on one side. You know, look a little confused. Camel on one side. Pure white on the other. But man, they are delicious. And they quarter up into beautiful fillets. And so hopefully that's what you will see in this demo. No guarantees. So first we're going to take the cheek. This fillet knife kind of has a broken tip. Maybe I'll switch it out for this one. And I'm just going to feel for where the meat is. This is a smaller cheek, smaller halibut. Sorry, honey. But really nice meat. It's like a I think Buddy wants the camera on him. But it's just it's kind of like a scallop. It's beautiful white boneless meat, stringy in a good way. And that's what it is. And I think you can just peel this skin right off. Don't even need your knife. You don't even need your knife for that. So see, it's like your little halibut scallop. We'll put it on our tray, our fish tray. So that's the first step. Okay, now I believe what we do is we feel. I think Buddy just likes talking over me. No, he's talking to his wild mint. That's fine. Keep going, honey. See, that's how we take care of our children. I gave him a sprig of wild mint, a squash, a bag of beans, and some Cheerios. Alrighty.
Buddy boy. What you doing?
Okay, so we're going to feel for the lateral line. All fish have a lateral line. That's how they pick up vibrations. And now I'm going to choose, here's the lateral line. I'm going to choose to go onto this side because that's where the bones are at. And I'm going to just cut in to this. And I'm going to go like this, I believe. All the way here. I'll make my cut where the head starts. Now, I like to really save as much meat as possible to the point where sometimes I do cut into bones because I just don't want to waste anything. But here we go. Okay, I'm getting a little far away from that lateral line. That's alright. Well, I guess I could switch to the longer fillet knife. And so now that I cut along I went a little crooked there, sorry. The lateral line. Now, I'm just going to turn my knife at an angle. And I'm going to start to remove this first fillet, this first quarter, by scraping along the bones. Can you see and hear those bones? Can you hear them even though Buddy's making so much noise? Nice. This is looking pretty good. Sweet. And we've caught some pretty big halibut here. I mean, one was about 130 pounds, so you can imagine how you have to kind of put your whole arms and then your whole body into it when you're quartering a bigger fish. But honestly, these chickens are just so tasty. And so from here, I just want to cut through the skin, I believe, and separate it. Isn't that lovely? You know what I like about this? I like that you flip it over and the skin hits the board that you're cutting on, but the meat doesn't. That's just, I don't know, that's nice, right? And I'm gonna skin this, so we'll get to that later. But there is one beautiful fillet. Isn't it lovely? One little cheek. And we're gonna keep going. So these are the guts. This is a gut area. So you kind of make your cut like this to avoid that. And then I believe, I think I just go under like this. I don't think there's any bones that really go up. So I think I just cut under like this and I just open it up. I'm gonna try and turn this so you can see it. Wow, look at that. Isn't that cool? You're just, you know, opening up this fish. Sorry about that if I'm not shooting the camera well. But cool. Oh, I think I have to make a cut like this on the tail to open her up completely. Now I'm just gonna make room to flop this side on the table. Cut away those bones. One hanging on there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Gorgeous. Okay, so we have one lovely filleted side of this fish. Now we're going to flip it over. Because this pure white side, I'm going to rinse it off a little, has just as much meat, I believe. Okay, so I already had started to remove the cheek. I was filleting fish earlier, and then I'm like, wait, we should film this, and we should show people. So that's why there's this cut here, and then I stopped. But so first I'm going to continue this cut and just kind of feel for where that cheek is. Oops, I think I missed some meat there. So we'll go a little more. And a lot of people don't even do this in this lovely... Oops, sorry. This lovely chunk of meat doesn't even get used, but I can hear a float plane coming in. That must be the island mail. See the float plane? Meanwhile, while the float plane flies, I'm butchering this cheek, but that's okay. We're gonna eat it anyway. This is the scallop. This is the scallop of the halibut. You can kind of see that grain. You can see that, right? How it's gonna have that scallop-like texture. Put that right there, next to our other cheek. All right, and now let's continue. Lateral line. You're just gonna, not the sharpest knife, cut along it. Take out that top quarter from this side. I think I just go like this. I try and really keep as much meat as possible. And I don't know. I like to think of it as you're just unzipping it. You're unzipping this fish. This is the zipper. And now we're just gonna open up that jacket of that halibut. And so again, once you make that slit, now we're gonna run this blade along these bones. And this is a part where I feel like it's important to look, but it's more important to feel and to listen, because you can feel those bones and you can hear them if you're going right up against them. And if you're going right up against them, that means you are getting, oops, I just cut through the meat, the most meat possible. But even if you leave some meat on the bone, it's not the end of the world, because we end up using the carcass. Oh my gosh. We end up using the carcass for shrimp bait, crab bait, all these other good things. Sometimes I tend to not want to waste any meat too much, or I make it much harder on myself because I'm going so close to the bone that it makes it a little more difficult. But that's okay. It's always good practice. So now I think I'm just going to go like this. And you know, one thing that I can say about our life up here in Alaska, a lot of people would think that it's such a opposite life than in Hawaii, right? Because it's much colder and just so different. But in all honesty, it's been so similar. Like how we've been living on this island, Prince of Wales Island, is so similar to how we live on our own island life in Hawaii, because we have just been literally living off the ocean and the land and enjoying all the fruits of our labor so much. One thing that we got to do here, well, as you can see, Buddy, his favorite toy right now has been mint. That came straight from
Buddy.
Drop your mint, baby. There's mint growing all over this place. Here you go. There's berries that are on their way out from summer. But one thing that we've really been enjoying are mushrooms. We don't get mushrooms. We don't get to forage much for mushrooms in Hawaii, and it's October right now. We have been going hunting for wild chanterelles. I'm just gonna flip him over. It'll be fine. My hands are a little fishy, but you're gonna be okay. Isn't it sit like that? You're gonna hold your mint. Here's a fake banana, some Cheerios. Here's a squash and a bag of beans. Okay, so these are our people. They're also from Hawaii and they're coming home. This is how we do things here. There's no, instead of driving in the driveway, this is the driveway. We run boats. Our people went fishing today. Hopefully they caught some. They're all from Hawaii also. They run the lodge here. This is a lodge called Alaskan Escape. Just a little fishing lodge my dad started 16 years ago. So that's the belly part. That's the guts. Don't want that. And it's all run by our Hawaii friends and family. And so even though we're in Alaska, we're still doing things Hawaiian style. Get that bone out. Okay, now I'm just gonna cut this. How's Buddy doing with his bag of beans? Good?
Yeah, he's really enjoying it.
Okay, so again, I think sometimes I try and save so much that, oops. But we'll just do like this. Okay. And look at that yield. I mean, just honestly check it out. For a tiny, for not, I shouldn't say tiny, but for a small halibut like this, we have 4 beautiful quartered fillets, 2 cheeks. Should I show you how to skin it real quick? Okay, show you how to skin it real quick. So, okay, so this is not waste. This is gonna be crab bait, shrimp bait. It's gonna get us many more dinners. But in the meantime, beautiful fillet. Take your knife, go at an angle, hold on good. Once you get a grip, just kind of move that skin back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And voila. Skin fillet. And you just repeat and you're done. But I hope you enjoyed this. I just thought it was really fascinating because it is different from any other fish that I've ever cleaned before. And again, you can't quarantine aloha. Mahalo olukai for being a part of our ohana and just always reaching out and saying, what are you up to? What can you share? Let's talk about it. Let's connect. Hope you guys enjoyed this and we will be home soon. Aloha.